First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aqua, that believe in all sincerity. I believe I'll entitle this Take Things Cheerfully. And that's a line from Sirach, the second chapter. All right. And, basically, I was pondering on how, basically having a positive mindset, carries you, real far in this truth. We got to take things cheerfully, as we know by this time, us who has been in this truth that, as it says here in the first verse, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. There's going to be temptation. There's going to be things that are going to, try to lead you off the path. Okay, there's going to be trials and tribulations, but, we got to take things cheerfully. That's the best way to be, You got to flow like water, be adaptable, because, if you're not, you could get real bitter, you could get real stagnant, you can get real unbelieving. And, the growth that you can see in yourself, when you take things cheerfully, when you take things in stride is, tremendous. It's fulfilling, when you look back and say, you know what, I didn't let that get me bitter. I didn't let that get me down. I didn't, I moved forward in positivity, because we know that all these things are according to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All those things that transpire is for the greater good. Whether, you're able to see it at the moment, it may take time for you to see, like, you know what? Okay, I see what the Lord was trying to do. So we got to take things cheerfully. This is Sirach 2. And 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Yeah, you got to definitely take things cheerfully. Let's look up this word cheerfully.
Cheerfully.
In a way that displays happiness or optimism, you see? In a way that inspires feelings of happiness readily and willingly. Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's, it's easier said than done, but, you got to inspire yourself to be happy to the best you can. All right. Because it is truly hell in Babylon. Right. But, you have to be, man. That's the only way that you can make it in this thing, And you got to be patient when you're changed to a lower state, when you get knocked down, a couple notches, when you catch a L, when you have to sit down, and, it could be a season. It could be a while before you, get back in the groove, get back in the rhythm of things, but that's all right. The important part is that you take things cheerfully, man. This is Hebrews 12:14. It says, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Yeah, be peaceful with all men, especially you catching hell. Hey, that's part of being patient. That's part of being cheerful is living in peace, not wanting no static, no smoke with no one. You stay holy. You got to be separate. If that's what it takes in certain situations to separate yourself, that's what you're going to have to do. Just separate yourself. That's what holy means. It means to be separate, right? Without which no man shall see the Lord. It says, looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. You see, you got to be diligent. Okay, diligent in this truth, and if not, you're gonna fail from the grace. The Lord gave us grace to do this work. Okay, so we do it. It says, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you. And a root is deeply rooted. You ever pull out roots? The root can go pretty much weeds. So like if weeds, they have a deep root, and you don't want to have like a weed growing in you that's deeply rooted. Bitterness, because that can really turn you out the way. And bitterness comes from a myriad of things that can transpire in your life. That's why you got to take things cheerfully. That's the name of the lesson. Follow peace with all men. Be holy. Be patient when you're changed to a lower state. We got to remember all these things, because if that root of bitterness spring up, it can trouble you, and many are defiled. Many are disenchanted with the different things that transpire. But it's all part of the walk. It's all part of the walk. Everything that we're going through is written in the scriptures. Romans 12 and 19. No, let's get Ephesians. Ephesians 4 and 31. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. Okay? And that's how we have to carry ourselves. We got to remember, these character building videos are always essential. It's always essential for us to remember these things. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, right? You don't want to be malicious. You don't want to be actively wishing ill will on others. No. You put all that bitterness, all that wrath, anger, clamor, evil speaking, put it away from you with all malice, and be ye kind one to another, tender hearted, forgiving one another, even as the Most High for Hamashiach's sake hath forgiven you. You see? And we've been forgiven for some dastardly deeds, man. Truth be told. I know I have. Just to keep it, a stack, So we got to be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, man. If we want to be forgiven for our sins, we got to forgive others. That's part of taking it cheerfully. That's part of being cheerful, is having forgiveness, having peace, getting rid of all the anger, the bitterness, the wrath, the anger, the clamor, evil speaking, all the malice, all these different things will help you when you live a life of optimism. This is truly faith. When you have faith that the Lord's gonna sort everything out, you put it in His hands. You put everything in the Lord's hands. You say, you know what, Lord, hey, you see to it. You see to my situation, and you live like this. You have to, and it's. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's easy, but you got to get to this point where you just forgive. You forgive. You forgive, you forget, you move on, you continue in this walk, and this could be anything. It could be anything, anything that troubles you, anything that bothers you. Let it not grow into like a weed in you. Let it not make you bitter, Okay, this is Romans 12 and 17. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Okay, because we know that we're living in a world in which it's a dog eat dog. It's a cutthroat, and whether it be at the job site, okay, whether it be at school, whether it be at an organization, whether it be relationships, friends, family, whatever the case may be, all this comes into play. You're going to be wronged. You're going to be crossed. But hey, man, have we not done the same? Somehow, some way? All this you have to intertwine when you think about what's going on in your walk. When you think about, how your life has turned out. And it's, so you got to take things cheerfully, man. Always upbeat. Don't let nothing get you down. Nothing. And yeah, you're gonna have days. Oh yeah, for sure. But that's not the default setting, right? It says recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men, right? If it's possible, if you can, hey man, be at peace with individuals, man. It is what it is. You got to be at peace. But what you're not going to do is go evil for evil. You're not going to live like that because the world, you are mad at the world spirit. You know, be careful not to get into that. We got to be careful not to get into that because it's not about that. You can't pay your bills, so now you stop paying your bills. You know, they lay people off at work, so now you hate your job. You hate everybody there. Nah, you can't have that mind frame. We really have to be alchemists, man. We really have to, turn bad and evil with, turn it into good. Okay? It says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. You see? Yeah, give place unto wrath. It ain't about wrath, man. It ain't about getting your lick back. It ain't about getting vengeance. Hey, man, the Lord, hey, he will see to it. He will recompense, man. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. You see? Yeah, don't be overcome with evil, because evil can transpire in your life. Then you just turn evil. That's why the scriptures say that a righteous man falleth 7 times, but get back up. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. You see, there's a difference. Be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good, right? Yeah. You start doing good. When shit gets bad, hey, start doing good. Start thinking better. Start moving better. Start learning. Learning from the incident. Learning from things that are transpiring. Right? So, this has been Take Things Cheerfully. It's a little something on my spirit. Something that I've been practicing. I've been practicing for a while, to just pause and change the way you see things, change the way you think about a situation. Because you could dwell on a situation and make you bitter, make you mad, make you this, make you that. But if you change it and say, you know what, I'm going to use this situation to better myself, I'm going to use it for the good, I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to move forward, which makes a total difference. So, again, it's something that I've been thinking. You got to walk like this. You got to walk like this, man. We got to walk like this. It helps. Don't look like what you've been through, right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aqua, that believe in all sincerity. Shalom.